It is Sunday evening. We're doing kitchen chat, evening edition this time. I just wanted to share what our family did today and kind of the lesson I learned from it. I've kind of been mulling it over in my head since we took our adventure, and so I think I'm going to share now about what I kind of learned. And we went to Sully Plantation, which is near our house, and it was really fun. My husband has not been since he was a kid, and so he was not super ecstatic about going to Sully Plantation, but it ended up being fun. It was really busy because it's so nice out today, or it was nice out. So the groups were really big, and so the tour guide that had our group did not want all of my kids in her group, and so she found another gentleman who works there and asked them to take just my family, which ended up being really good because he catered it toward the kids. He let them like touch things, but he also gave us information that he wouldn't have normally given on a normal tour guide. So I shared, like halfway through, I shared with him that my husband was a home builder, because my husband kept looking at like the molding and like how things are put together. So he gave us a little bit more information on the buildings and stuff, and he even opened one of the closets to show us like the beams and things, which is really cool. It ended up being really good. But he mentioned something. So the home was built in the late 1700s, I think 1795, he said. And the family was the Lee family that had it. And they were top 5% in Virginia, like the wealthiest. So they were more wealthy than 95% of the rest of the people in Virginia. And they know that by how much land they owned, how many slaves they had, how many assets they had. And so they made the point to say, like, when you walk around these homes, like, don't think like I could live in this era, because this is not the way the majority of people lived. So one of the things he shared with us was, because they were kind of like a rich and famous wealthy family, they have a lot of the letters still. And Mrs. Lee, she had 9 kids, and she was originally from Philadelphia, I think he said. So she was a city girl. And so in the letters, he said she would often say how beautiful Virginia is, but how lonely she felt. And I just made a connection with her right there, because, I mean, what mom has not felt lonely? I have 5 kids. I have people touching me and around me and talking to me all day long. But a lot of times I feel lonely. And I think that, as I started to kind of ponder that, I was thinking, there's nothing new under the sun. I think it's a great tactic that the enemy has used to make us feel like we're the first to feel the way we feel. We're the first to feel lonely. We're the first to feel like maybe we love our kids but don't really like them right now. Not saying that's ever happened for me. Maybe we're the first to have trouble in our marriage, or, I think it's just a really good tactic that the devil used to make us feel like we're alone, or that we're not doing as good of a job as other people are, that nobody would understand us. And there's a verse in the Bible. So I was like, I really think there's a Bible verse. So I Googled it, and it's actually in Ecclesiastes, and I'm going to read it to you. And actually, when I went to find it, I have spent a lot of time in Ecclesiastes from my notes and things that I have written in here. Like, I've read through the entire book, which it's not that long. It's like 4 pages. But I've read through the entire book, and there's like notes all over it. So I think I'm going to go back through it. It says the author was Solomon. I have that written down. But so this is Ecclesiastes 1:2-11. It says, "Meaningless, meaningless, says the teacher, utterly meaningless. Everything is meaningless. What does man gain from his labor at which he toils under the sun? Generations come and generations go, but the earth remains forever. The sun rises and the sun sets and hurries back to where it rises. The wind blows to the south and turns to the north. Round and round it goes, ever returning on its course. All streams flow into the sea, yet the sea is never full. To the place the streams come from, there they return again. All things are wearisome, more than one can say. The eye never has enough of seeing, nor the ear its fill of hearing. What has been will be again. What has been done will be done again. There is nothing new under the sun. Is there anything of which one can say, look, this is something new? It was here already long ago. It was here before our time. There is no remembrance of men of old, and even those who are yet to come will not be remembered by those who follow. So I don't think that this is talking about like nothing new under the sun. Like definitely the technology, indoor plumbing was new. It's not talking about that. I think it's talking about just the basics in history, the way we feel, the things that we do, just human nature, the way we act, because we are living in a fallen world, because we are not perfect. We kind of repeat the same things over and over again. And I don't think that is supposed to be discouraging. Like if you go through the book, it's not discouraging. I'm just reading you that one little part and it's kind of like, why should I even bother then? But it's not, if you read through the book, it's not discouraging. So anyway, it's saying like there is anything of which, okay. What has been will be again. What has been done will be done again. There's nothing new under the sun. So here is this woman who's like super wealthy, who has 9 children and a beautiful home for that time period, all this land, all these assets, and yet she's lonely. And she is living better than 95% of the people in Virginia, and she is lonely. And so I think that it's easy to say, I'm the only one who has felt like this in life, in motherhood, in friendship, whatever. But it's not true. There is somebody that has gone before you. There's somebody that has walked that path. Whatever you're going through, I can guarantee you that somebody else has been through that situation before. So I encourage you to reach out to them and try to connect with them and see if you guys can do life together. Because just because you feel lonely doesn't mean you have to be alone, like physically or friendship. You don't have to be alone just because you feel lonely. And then the other thing, one of the things that he shared with us that I don't think you would get on a normal tour was he raised the blind so that we could look out the window and showed us the shingles on the addition. And the shingles were made of wood and painted gray to make it look like metal. So here are these wealthy people, and they're cutting corners to save money by putting wood shingles on and painting them gray to look like they have more money than they do. So the whole keeping up with the Joneses, basically like trying to make your life seem different than it actually is. And we do that now. They did that back then, but we do it now, like Facebook posts. People tweak them so that life is not what it is. Make it look better than it is, or make you, I don't know why we do it. It's just human nature, I guess. And so there's nothing new under the sun. So I just encourage you to try to be a little more authentic. I'm not saying be negative. Don't go on and post like that your life is horrible and that it sucks. But being authentic is definitely attractive. And then I was just going to share with you the end of Ecclesiastes, because he goes through all this stuff, like that one passage. The passage is very almost depressing if you don't read through the rest, but it ends like this. So this is Ecclesiastes 11:13. Now all has been heard. Here is the conclusion of the matter. Fear God and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. For God will bring every deed into judgment, including every hidden thing, whether it is good or evil. I have little ones that have snuck downstairs. What's up?
Mommy.
Yeah.
Look at my leg.
What's wrong with your leg?
See, look.
Okay, let's put some Neosporin on it. Here you go. Rub some on it. She has eczema, and the Neosporin tends to help the eczema. If anybody has kids with eczema, give me clues, because regular lotion, she says, hurts. So I found that Neosporin doesn't hurt, and it tends to help the patches. So anyway, sidebar. For God will bring every deed into judgment, including every hidden thing, whether it is good or evil. Fear God and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. So I don't think this book is about being like, oh, what's done will be done again, and so just give up. There's no way to change, human nature. I think I think the book is about, and I could be totally wrong. I've never taken a Bible class. I've never done any kind of studying. But I think it's saying like history repeats itself. You are not the first to feel like you're feeling, and that basically your job is to just love God and keep His commandments. Your job is to live, fear God and keep His commandments. So respect Him and keep His commandments. For the whole duty of man to live the way God is asking us to live, not keeping up with the Joneses, not separating ourselves because we think we're the only ones that have ever been alone. And so I hope that's encouraging. Now that I'm talking about it, I'm worried that maybe it's not. But anyway, I hope you all get good, sweet rest tonight, and I'll see you later.